look at the weather.
It's beautiful here.
Non-stop rain.
Oh, man, it is a blazer out there.
It's cold and it's shivery.
It is cold.
Really coming down here.
I really enjoy your weather reports.
From the All Indiana Podcast Network, we're talking weather in a whole new way. From historical events to what's coming up, plus weather news, science, safety, fun facts, and more.
I like where this is going.
This is Weather Weekly. Weather Weekly with Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey.
Episode number 69, Weather Weekly here as we roll along on the week of March 9th, 2022. And boy, have we turned the corner. Feeling a little more like summer this week. Good stuff. Could break some records or at least come close. Are you ready? You ready for some warmer weather? Made it past Mother's Day. Go ahead and plant. Looks good for a little while. Of course, we'll have that extended forecast at the end of the podcast. Hopefully, you're already having a pretty good week weather-wise. It's not bad. Still a little windy on Monday, but I think that's going to get better as we kind of progress through this upcoming week. Before I get to today's subject, we're going to hit up on a couple of things just that are noteworthy, so it'll be kind of a shorter podcast this week. But did get a report, and this was posted on the Indianapolis National Weather Service page May 6th. So that was, let's see, I believe that was last Friday, when we had it was gloomy. We had a lot of rain. I know a lot of our Little League, a lot of our baseball games were postponed or canceled that day because of all the rain that we had picked up. There was actually a report of what the Weather Service is calling a landspout tornado. So what's the difference? I'm not going to go real in depth with it because I actually have a podcast that's kind of dedicated to it. But it's not a true kind of mesocyclone type of tornadic event, right? The whole thunderstorm is not necessarily rotating. You've got a little bit of a spin in the air. You can kind of think of it like a dust devil a little bit, but it's more connected to a cloud. But there was a little bit of damage reported with this. So it was rated as an EF0, 65 mile per hour peak winds. The length, it was only on the ground for 6/100ths of a mile. The max width was 20 yards. No injuries. But this was the summary from the Weather Service after consultation with the Jackson County Emergency Management and seeing video evidence. The National Weather Service has determined that a brief landspout tornado occurred during the evening hours of May 6th. The weak tornado touched down and within a minute lifted in nearly the same location. This is what was noted. A picnic table was blown to the west and a nearby barn had its roof lifted and blown to the east and south. Some of these metal panels damaged a fence downwind. Grass nearby showed convergence. We thank the Jackson County Emergency Management for their assistance in conducting this damage survey. So even though it was a landspout tornado not associated with a parent rotating storm, this will be counted on total number of tornadoes for the state. So there you go. That one was just added. I believe I noticed that on Monday, yesterday. So yeah, there you go. Didn't get a tornado warning out of that. And again, you can go back to the Landspout podcast that I did. Not exactly sure what episode. I believe it's labeled on there that you usually don't get tornado warnings with that unless you've got good ground truth. You got people spotting that, get video, that kind of thing, because usually that type of rotation, one, is really short-lived, two, not going to be picked up by radar. So very rarely do those make it to the ground. When they do, you can get some minor structural damage like we saw down in Jackson County, but very rarely do those touch the ground. So there you go. Just wanted to give you some notes there about May 6th. Coming up, we're going to talk about a couple of things here. There is a spectacular celestial event that you may want to check out this weekend. And I haven't really talked much about it, but it's been a big national headline. And that is the wildfires that are taking place out to the south and west of us. So we'll talk about a little bit about both of those. That's coming up next here on Weather Weekly.
Audible's romance collection has something to satisfy every side of you. When it comes to what kind of romance you're into, you don't have to choose just one. Fancy a dalliance with a duke? Or maybe a steamy billionaire? You could find a book boyfriend in the city and another one tearing it up on the hockey field. And if nothing on this earth satisfies, you can always find love in another realm. Discover modern rom-coms from authors like Lily Chu and Ali Hazelwood, the latest romantasy series from Sarah J. Maas and Rebecca Yarros, plus Regency favorites like Bridgerton and Outlander. And of course, all the really steamy stuff. Your first great love story is free when you sign up for a free 30-day trial at audible.com/Wondery. That's audible.com/Wondery.
Episode number 69. Good to be with you here as we're rolling through the middle of the month of May. Hopefully you're having a great one. Couple of quick notes. This will be a short podcast here, but a couple of things I wanted to bring to your attention. We've warmed things up pretty nicely here in central Indiana. This podcast will drop on Wednesday the 11th. We're forecasting highs in the mid 80s, near record highs. I think the record for, I know the record for the date, the 11th, is 89. Thursday's record high, which is the 12th, is 88. I don't know if we'll get there. We'll be awfully close. But just to kind of show you how rare 90-degree temperatures are for the month of May, you have to go all the way back to 2018, the last time we actually registered 90 or higher. And that's the only year in the last 6 years that we've recorded 90-degree or higher days. We did it 3 times that year. So, it is a rarity, but that one, that year, that was very, very warm. But if you take the 30-year average before the month of May and how many times we hit 90, it's like 0.3 days. So again, very, very unusual. Now, for the entire summer, we average close to around 30 degrees, just shy of 30 days. But the bulk of those obviously coming during the months of June, July, especially, and August. Those are the hot months there. So, yeah, we're kind of in rare territory. I don't know if we'll hit 90 officially in Indianapolis this week, but we're knocking on the door. So, something to watch for. Some pretty unusual heat for this early in the season. A couple of things to bring to your attention here. Stargazers, heads up, Sunday night, there will be a total lunar eclipse. North and South America specifically, even parts of Europe and Africa will be able to see this. This will be on Sunday night, so check it out. It will kind of begin around 9:32 Eastern Daylight Time. That's when you'll kind of start the beginnings of it. The partial eclipse will begin at 10:27 Eastern Daylight Time, and then totality will be at 11:29 Eastern Daylight Time on the 15th. So that is Sunday night. What you'll notice, so what the total lunar eclipse is basically that the Earth will be passing between the sun and it'll be fully in the Earth's. Sorry, let me step back. The moon will be completely in the Earth's shadow. So the Earth will be between the sun and the moon. And so what you will get is this kind of orange hue. When we're in totality here. So you're going to have a duration of basically the entire penumbral eclipse will wrap up at 2:50 in the morning, but basically this partial eclipse will end at around just after midnight, 12 a.m. You'll have about 85 minutes to look at this in its entirety, but the totality will be so the peak will be at, it'll be ending, it will go from 11:29 to 12:53. Okay, so that's going to be kind of your time frame there. You'll have about, like I said, 85 minutes of totality. So check that out. Again, Sunday night, and hopefully the weather will hold up. I know at least in the forecast now we've got some scattered rain chances. So that could mean some clouds are around. It could block your view, but hopefully we'll get some good viewing for Sunday night if you want to check that. It might be a little bit late for the kids. I'm sure NASA will probably be streaming that, and then you might be able to watch a replay of it. in the morning if the kids are asleep or if the viewing's not great with some cloud cover or rain chances around. So check that out. The other thing I wanted to bring up was the wildfires. We haven't talked about this much. It's been a big deal. This from the AP this morning. And when I say this morning, I'm recording this on the 10th, Tuesday morning. Firefighters in northern New Mexico worked Monday in rugged terrain ahead of a massive wildfire. They're trying to position crews to clear brush, stop the monster blaze from burning more homes in the Rocky Mountain foothills. The wildfire has charred 308 square miles, very dry forest, making it the largest blaze burning in the U.S. currently. What's already been a very early fire season. Thousands of people have already been evacuated. Much of the Southwest has been in the grips of drought for decades. I think that's important. This hasn't been something that's been kind of building for the past few years, but Southwest has been dry for a really, really long time. The warm temperatures that we are getting here in the Midwest, that's what has been building in the South and West. And so it's been unusually hot this early in the season there. So crews in Arizona were dealing with strong winds in addition on Monday. So that's obviously just fanning the flames along the U.S.-Mexican border for several dozen people from their homes. Another wildfire in northern New Mexico near the federal government's key facilities for nuclear research prompted Los Alamos National Laboratory and others in the area to begin preparing for evacuations, though officials stressed there was no immediate threat to the lab. That fire has burned nearly 64 square miles, so that's considerably smaller, but still very, very large. Strong gusty winds continue to blow across the region after fanning the fires for weeks and often grounding essential aircraft used to drop water or fire retardant ahead of the flames, complicating efforts to contain them. Wind will continue to be a factor this week along with low humidity, but to varying degrees depending on the day. Fire officials predicted part of the main New Mexico fire would push north into rugged terrain that is difficult for firefighters to access. Nearly 1,700 firefighters were battling the blaze burning northeast of Santa Fe. That was almost 50% contained. It has destroyed nearly 300 structures, including homes, commercial buildings, and barns. The region's largest population center, Las Vegas, New Mexico, home to 13,000 people, remained largely safe from the flames after some area residents were allowed to return over the weekend. Schools were expected to return into in-person classes this week. Just to kind of put it in perspective here, so we're talking basically northeastern and eastern New Mexico. And in those specific areas, it's classified a D4 exceptional drought. There is no higher drought that you can achieve than that. So it's bad. That's not an area that typically obviously gets a rain because you're getting in the desert Southwest area, right? So obviously not a lot of water to be had in that area, but even still, a little bit goes a long way there. But the winds are certainly not helping matters there. Rain chances are not really helping matters out there as well. And if we look at kind of the climate data, and what's ahead, the 6 to 10 day outlook, they're talking above average and very strong signal for below average precipitation. And the 8 to 14 days, not much better. Above average for much of the southern plains, and it does extend into the desert Southwest, and below average precipitation. So not good. 1 month. So the entire month of May above average, and you've got that swath that we were talking about in southern Colorado and northern eastern New Mexico below average. Pretty strong signal for both. So unfortunately, not much relief in terms of wildfire issues there in the in the south and west. So not going to be a good issue for them. In fact, the 8 to 14 day outlook, they're talking excessive heat is likely moderate to high in the southern plains and in the southern plains and the desert southwest. Basically, for the dates of the 17th through the 20th, could extend to the 23rd for parts of Texas. And wind, kind of a slight risk for high winds between the 17th and the 21st. So again, not good when you're trying to battle these fires. So something we will be watching for. Thankfully, it's been much more quiet here in the Midwest, although it was very active last week with some of the rain. But it's been nice to kind of dry things out this week with summer heat building. The big question is, how long will the heat stick around? When will our next rain chances be as well? We'll take a look ahead at that in the week ahead forecast that's coming up next here on Weather Weekly. Here's a look at the forecast for the week of May 9th. And again, very summer-like, near record heat beginning on the day this drops, a Wednesday. Got highs in the mid and upper 80s. The record high for the date here in Indianapolis, 89. We're forecasting a high of 86. Same thing for Thursday, 86 for the forecasted high. The record high is 88. We're going to hold into the mid 80s through Friday. I do think the humidity is going to tick up a bit here. We felt that a little bit Tuesday afternoon, probably going to carry over for Wednesday. And then it kind of drops off a little bit as we head into Thursday and Friday. Some drier air starting to settle in. Heading into the weekend then, temperatures will kind of cool back a little bit. Low 80s on Saturday, upper 70s on Sunday. I do see some rain chances returning. Isolated thunderstorms for Saturday afternoon and evening. We'll see if we can hold those off before we finish the Grand Prix at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. They're on the road course this weekend. The first of 3 consecutive weekends that there'll be some action there at the track, which obviously will end with the 106th running of the Indianapolis 500 on Memorial Day weekend. Better rain chances coming in on Sunday, although I don't think it rains all day, but we'll have some thunderstorm activity possible. That will carry over into Monday as well. And then it looks like we're going to kind of cool things back down into the lower 70s. The extended forecast, while we've been running pretty warm here, we go for the 8 to 14 day outlook. The temperatures are kind of near normal, so that would put us in the low to mid 70s as we roll through the middle of the month, and it looks like we have a decent signal of above average precipitation. So after kind of a dry week, we may start getting back into a little bit more of an active pattern. All right, there you go. We'd love to hear your comments, thoughts, ideas for the podcast. You can shoot me an email anytime, marcus.bailey@wishtv.com. You can reach me out on social media as well, at Marcus Bailey on Twitter and Marcus Bailey Weather on Facebook and Instagram. Thanks so much for joining us here on episode 69. And while you're here, make sure to check out all the other great podcasts, all part of the All Indiana Podcast Network. Have a great week and God bless.
Discover more from Storm Track 8 Weather and Wish TV. Online at wishtv.com and when you follow Wish TV on Facebook. Plus, be sure to check out more great podcasts from the All Indiana Podcast Network now at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.